What's up, you guys? This is Arash with Vend, the Wedding Vendor podcast. Today I have the legendary, the one who I refer to as the Godfather, DJ Mohsen. Thank you so much, DJ Mohsen, for coming on the show.
Of course, thank you for having me, Arashan.
I've known you for so many years. I think most of the weddings I went to in the 90s, as a guest, you were the DJ for it. So it's crazy that you're here. It's crazy that I work with you now in all these weddings. I know your time is very valuable too, so very happy to have you here.
Anything for you, my friend. Anything.
Is there anyone who's been DJing longer than you?
Not actively, no.
No. Okay.
No.
And when did you start?
I started in 1985 professionally, and then the first wedding I did was 1986.
How did you get into DJing? Because as the legend goes, you have to, as a Persian, become a doctor, engineer, or lawyer. Everything else, at least for the last 20 years, as I remember, was kind of off limits. So how did you get into DJing?
DJing, actually, I went to San Diego State. I graduated from San Diego State with a physical education major and emphasis in athletic training. And then my second degree was same thing, physical education, emphasis in health and fitness. So back in 85, there was another guy named Ali Pur Hosseini.
Okay.
And he was DJing from like 80, 81 until 85. And he used to DJ at clubs and stuff here in San Diego.
In San Diego?
San Diego and back at weddings and stuff. So I used to see him, I used to watch him like, oh my God, how is he changing the music? Back then, all the American stuff was on vinyl. And then the Persian music was obviously on cassette. So I was watching him, and one day, it was a club called Rasputin on Rosecrans. Many, this is like 84, 85. So he opened the door, I went in, and then we just became friends, and I call him Ostad because he brought me in this industry, and every time I see him, I say Ostad. And after that, I just bought some equipment, started practicing because, to me, honestly, at the beginning, it's not a brain surgery. You just have to practice. I used to practice literally 6 to 8 hours a day because I wanted to master the art of mixing beat to beat without anybody on the dance floor turning around and looking at me like, what happened? So I wanted the transitions to be so smooth from day one, and it's all practice. And it was difficult, because especially with the Persian music, because you had to mix it with the cassette.
That's what I was going to say. I think back then, not only was it difficult because you maybe didn't have the software tools that you have now, but I would imagine there were less songs back then. So when you're playing, like you're trying to play dance music for a reception, you're a little bit more limited. Like right now, you can go through your, 100 songs throughout the night and you're fine. Back then, I don't know, did you repeat songs or how did you have enough songs?
Most of the times, yeah, we repeated the songs because, like you said, there wasn't too many songs. And then it was really difficult transitioning from one song to another because right now, like with all the, like you said, softwares and programs and, the technology, it's so easy to go transition from one song to another. But back then, you just had to take the cassette out, put a little, like a pen or pencil.
For those that don't know, cassette is what people used to listen to for music before CDs and all that, back in the day.
And then just make it right and then just let go of the pause, and it had to be right on. And then after that, CDs came out, and then obviously the programs and the computers and all the softwares and stuff, and makes it so much easier now.
What's the main difference between like a wedding in the late 80s, early 90s with a wedding today that you're doing?
The music.
The music.
Definitely the music.
Better music now?
But much better music now. But again, it depends on the crowd, of course. Each wedding is different. I still like to play some of the older songs. And of course, a lot of the guests will turn around and say, how come you don't play all the new songs? And then you play the new songs and you clear the dance floor because people haven't heard it. So it's just got to be like the right balance. And I always tell like all the upcoming DJs, once in a while that I talk to, is one of the most important aspects of this industry is reading the crowd. And that's literally, it's a psychology. You have to read the crowd. You have to know what to play, when to play at the right time. Because one wrong song, you're going to clear the dance floor.
That makes perfect sense. How many weddings do you think you've done in your career?
My God, I wish I could tell you 5,000, 6,000.
5,000, 6,000 weddings?
Easily.
Wow.
If not more, I don't know. I wish I could go back and count, but there have been a lot of weddings.
Wow, 5, 6, 7, that blows my mind. Can you remember the biggest or most extravagant wedding you've ever done?
3 years ago in Vancouver.
What made it? Was it just the amount of guests? Was it?
It was the biggest wedding in Vancouver.
Oh wow!
In Canada, and it was all over the newspapers and the magazines and everything.
Celebrity or
no. Actually, I was at a wedding like 3-4 weeks before, and I see the wedding planner like videotaping me, so I didn't think anything of it. And then
was it actual videotape or just filming on the phone?
She was filming on the phone,
okay.
yeah. And then during dinner, she came up and she said, "Are you available like January 18th?" I think it was. I said, "January 18th of next year?" And I go, "No, 3 weeks from now." I go, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "Because I have a client and they were watching you and they want to book you." I said, "So they don't have a DJ at this point?" Because no, they do, but they love you. So I said, "What about the other DJ? It's not right." He goes, "Don't worry about that part. They're going to take care of you. They're going to take care of your flight and, the rest of the stuff." And once I got there, oh my God, like it was literally 1 week of production for everybody who was working at. And it was the biggest wedding I've ever done.
Wow.
As far as production-wise, it was the biggest wedding. But the biggest crowd wedding that I did, almost 1,200.
Wow. Where was the venue?
In Fashion Valley, which they don't have that building anymore. Town and Country.
Oh, wow. 1,200.
1,200.
And you got at least like half of them to dance on the dance floor?
Almost 800 people were dancing on the dance floor.
I would love to watch the video of that. You also obviously do clubs. You have probably since the 80s, 90s, right? You've done clubs. If there was a $10,000 gig this Saturday for either a club gig or a wedding, which one would you rather do?
Club.
And the reason is?
It's just more fun.
It's more. What makes it more fun?
Just watching the crowd, and there is not that much limitation on as far as what type of music you need. Wedding is pretty much almost the same. Like you play the Persian music, newer and older. You play the 80s or the 90s, top 40, hip hop, that type of genre.
Right.
But at club, most of the clubs, especially the clubs in Vegas, is all like EDM, which is like one of my favorite genres that I do. And so there's not that much limitation. You have a 45-minute set or maybe an hour set, and you just go do your stuff, and the next DJ goes.
Can you name your favorite? It doesn't have to be in order. Top 3 EDM artists or non-Persian artists in general.
Avicii.
Avicii, okay.
That was definitely number one. Let me see, David Guetta.
Okay.
And I would say, let me see, top 3. I hope I spelled their name right. Omet Oskan, something like that.
Okay. What about top 3 Persian artists?
Persian artists, God,
ever in history?
There's so many. There are so many. Black Cats, the old Black Cats, with Piruz, being the lead singer.
So Piruz then?
Piruz, okay. Yeah. And then, good question. Leila Furuhar, like Leila Furuhar, the old school Leila Furuhar. And right now, I would have to say Saucy.
Saucy, okay.
There's more, of course, Kamran Human, and then there's so many of those.
Okay. In at least from my experience, I'm sure with your experience, most of our clients are probably Persian, correct? Our people also tend to, when they approach us for a wedding, ask for a little bit of a discount, just a little bit here and there. Do you, first of all, offer discounts? If so, how does one get a discount?
My DJ services are set.
Okay.
Because it's not fair to the other clients that they've asked the same exact question.
Okay.
So if I say, for example, I'm just throwing a number. Let's say I'm charging
$25,000.
$25,000 for just a DJ. Then I can work something out. Let's say if they need lighting, if they need maybe like an additional sound system for their ceremony, because we always come with one sound system. So then sometimes the ceremony is outside. Then they need music for the cocktail hour. So that's like 2-3 different sound systems.
Correct.
So maybe I could work something out for that part. But as far as the DJ fee, it would definitely not be fair to other people because it's just not right.
You said lighting, so you obviously also provide lighting?
Sometimes I provide lighting. Sometimes I go through one of my friends, DJ Julius, who has tons of lighting, and then we collaborate. and then we go do the show. And if he's available, he'll stay with me.
Is there anything else you provide besides DJ and lighting, like screens for video or drapery or anything else that is you'd like to provide?
I'll go through
Julius.
To Julius, yes.
If someone calls you and has a 150 person wedding, let's say at a hotel, say Hyatt, for example, Manchester Hyatt, and they're looking for you to DJ their wedding, regular 5-6 hour reception, bring all the speakers for the ceremony, all that stuff, and up lighting. I'm sure you have to see how many walls there are, all that stuff. Is there a range you can give me that you would charge? Meaning, is it like between 3,000 and 5,000, 10,000 to 20,000? What's the estimated range?
I would say probably anywhere between 5 to 7,000.
Okay, and then you said if they hypothetically get everything from you, they would get some kind of discount.
Yes.
What's the discount they would get?
Maybe I'll throw in the sound system, let's say for the cocktail hour, maybe
like for free without
for
charging?
free without for charging, because it's an extra setup. Have to bring somebody, because there is just no way one person can do 3 sound systems, set up a full lighting, set up dance floor wash, go DJ for like 5-6 hours, and then at the end of the night you have to tear everything down. So there's just one person is very hard. So I bring somebody on to help out with the setup and everything.
That makes sense. So let's say hypothetically it's $7,500 for what you said. You make it sound very easy that you're saying $7,500 and you're getting a speaker for free, but that I don't believe that that's as easy as it goes. So let's do a little bit of role playing. Okay, you're DJ Mohsen. I'm gonna be a client calling you for my wedding. Okay. Hi, DJ Mohsen. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have a wedding on August 31st. Are you free?
Let me check my calendar.
I hope so. I hope you're free.
I have something pending, actually.
Pending, okay.
Yes.
If it's not pending, I wanted to get you for our wedding, 150 to 200 guests at the Grand Hyatt, Manchester Hyatt in downtown. We wanted uplights for all the walls. Okay. We wanted you to set up the mic, the speakers for the ceremony and the reception. What's a quote you can give me?
Normally it's going to be 5,000 for DJ with the lighting, the sound system for the ceremony, with the uplights. You're looking at probably about 7,500. I can give you 500 discount, so we're looking at $7,000.
Oh, thank you so much for the discount. But I've known you in the community for so long. Can we do it for 6,000, please?
No, unfortunately I can't, because it wouldn't be fair, first of all, to the other clients.
I won't tell them.
No, it's okay. I can't. There's no way.
I promise you, I would never tell them.
Even though if you promise me, I can't.
I've been following you on Instagram for like 6 years now.
It's not making a difference, no.
What if I help you bring the speakers in? You said you need help. What if I personally, and my groomsmen will help bring the speakers?
I can't let you do that yet.
Why?
Because I'm not going to let you touch the equipment just in case something happens to it.
Okay.
And it's for liability and stuff.
Okay.
So I have to bring somebody with me to set up, to help set up, and then tear everything down.
Okay, I'll go with your 7,000, but can you please bring a free CO2 machine, those sprays that you do during the crowd?
I don't have that, but I have to rent it.
Okay, so can you cover that since we're doing it for 7,000?
I have to rent it, so you have to cover the rent, plus right now, the gas prices are crazy, so I have to pick it up, and that would be an extra setup.
I'll pay for your gas. I'll Venmo you $20.
It's more than 20.
It's more. I know I'm exaggerating this, but this is sometimes as far as it goes. Like I saw your mom recently. I'm friends with your mom, and my mom doesn't know who that person is, and they're expecting like a 20% discount. And I'm like, where do you get 20% from? So sometimes it is that crazy. I'm sure you've seen your fair share of them, but I think you handled it pretty well.
That was pretty nice, actually. That was a nice conversation. Oh my God.
That's a nice one. People get worse.
Oh my God, yes. And the thing is, like, people, they expect you to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, this lady called me 3 weeks ago. It was a show at her house in Oceanside. And from my house to Oceanside, especially on a Friday, it's a long drive with the gas and everything. Her budget was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Can we share that or no?
$250.
For a DJ?
Yes. And she kept repeating that I only have 35 guests. I said, I'm not a catering company.
Yeah.
Whether you have 35 or 350, I still have to do exact same thing.
Yeah.
Set up, perform, and tear down. But she said no. I said, just coming to your house and coming back, minimum $50 worth of gas. Minimum, especially on a Friday.
Yeah.
Your event starts at 7. I have to leave here at about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I get there. And $250 I charged in 1987. So
inflation, yeah.
best thing to do, just go on one of these apps that, you know, a lot of DJs have.
Did she do that?
I don't know.
Oh, I had something similar for, it's coming up in 2 Fridays, where she said, like I quoted her something like $400 an hour. She said, okay, let's do it for 2. And I was like, why? She's like, well, why would I pay $400? I was like, because that's my rate. She's like, where are you coming from? I was like, Orange County. She's like, okay, well, if you were my neighbor, you'd charge me $200. I was like, I wouldn't. That's just, I have to take photos and edit it. That's the rate. She's like, oh, so you're going to be upset with me. I was like, I'm not upset. That's the rate.
Exactly.
No one's upset. I'm just telling you my rate. I don't see these same people going, for example, to a dentist, and they said your root canal's $1,000, and they're just like, okay, I'll give you $500, and it's not. It's a different mindset.
Yeah, people ask, but I mean,
I really enjoy the psychology behind it. How they get the balls to be like, hey, we're gonna give you this instead, and you're like, that's not. I don't know where it started culturally, but
I did real estate once in a while. I still do my real estate license, and the funny things you just mentioned that I think it was my second or the third year that I was doing this. This gentleman called me, and he was saying, I want you to sell my house. I said, okay, that's great. So we went back and forth, you know, as far as the percentage and everything. And he said, will you give me 50% of your commission? I said, you work in one of these offices in San Diego. And I knew the guy because my cousin used to work there. And you're probably you have your master's, because my cousin told me all the info, probably about 90 to 95,000 a year. And he was just quiet. I said, no problem, I'll give you 50% if you give me 50% of your commission. I mean, of your salary. Dead silence, he hung up the phone.
Yeah. Would you rather do real estate than DJing?
For now, I'm in love with this. I've been in love with this, with DJing ever since day one. And it's a passion. I get excited when a client calls. I get excited talking to them. I get excited going to do events. I get excited seeing the crowd, making the crowd happy, and at the end of the night, like, everybody leaves happy. So for now, it's this. I can always do real estate. That's definitely not an issue.
That's very true. What's the craziest wedding story? I know you have so many, and you don't have to say names, but what's the craziest wedding story you have? Probably from the 90s, I would assume.
No, actually, it was probably 10, 15 years ago, okay. I think. Maybe we can call them Bridezilla, maybe not. Okay. I don't know.
Please, I'm very interested.
But she was very firm on her songs.
Okay.
And there was about 100 guests. 95% were Persian, 5% were non-Persian. So she gave me like 3-4 pages of songs, and I looked at it.
When did she give this to you? Like during the wedding day?
No, beforehand. I always get the songs beforehand just to make sure that I do have it. If I don't, then I can prepare it, make sure everything is there. And right now with the technology, somebody requests a song that we don't have, for example, they can always go and download it. Beforehand, obviously, that was not an option. And I'm looking at all these songs, and they were swing music. So I told her, with all due respect, this is not going to work. You have 95% of your guests are Persians. And I've been to their house. They were doctors, lawyers, engineers. I've been to their houses before. I know this crowd. They're not going to dance to swing music. That's the kind of music I want. I'm paying you. You have to play it. Said, I promise you, you're going to walk into the ballroom at 7:30. It's going to be done at 9:30. She goes, no. I promise you it's not. I go, okay, no problem. So we go there, 9:20, almost 80% of the crowd left, and they were coming up to me. It was like, like, what is this? What is your body you're playing?
They were happy with the music.
So you have to keep showing the list to everybody. And it's like probably 10, 15 people left, and the wedding was done at exactly 10:11, because I was watching my watch. 10:11 it was done.
It was gone.
I was home at 10:30.
The bride didn't complain that no one's dancing.
She said, I'm sorry.
Oh, she said, I'm sorry?
She said, I'm sorry, you were right. But I mean, she spent so much money on the wedding, especially at this venue. It was very expensive. But I said, that music is great. I love swing music. I love all type of music.
Except country.
Country, I like country too. Yeah, I listen to country once in a while. But I said it's good to listen in your car, maybe at your house. It's not wedding songs.
Yeah.
People want to dance at the wedding. They want to have a good time. Let's say you play 80s music. People have memories with it. You play 70s music. You play 60s music, you know, like the old school stuff. People have memories with it. So I felt bad. I felt really bad, but I mean, I told her. She didn't listen.
I 3 years ago, we were at a wedding where the DJ started playing Christmas music in July. There was a wedding in July, and the bride comes up to me and says, "What is he doing?" I'm like, he's playing Christmas music. She's like, "Can you go tell him to stop?" I was like, he's going to get mad at me, and we already had a little bit of conflict. I was like, you go tell him. You're the bride. You can go say, I don't like Christmas music. And she did, and he stopped, but it was very awkward that he was playing Christmas music. So the story, I think, was you're talking about a bridezilla, but that seems very tame. There's no crazier stories. There was a rumor about a wedding stop before the ceremony even started.
Actually, that was back in, I think, 87.
That's 87.
88. Wow. I think it was like, 1987, I believe. It was at the venue in Mission Beach area. And I was mixing with the cassette, Persian music. So we did the ceremony. There was a lot of tension in the ceremony. A lot of tension.
Between you and
No. I'm
never any tension.
I'm cool with everybody. I love everybody unless they cross the line and obviously disrespect. But I love everybody. I work with everybody. And during the ceremony, there was a lot of tension between the bride side and the groom side. And I just talked to the groom's side all this time. Then the bride used to live in another city. So played this music. They went into cocktail. The venue provided the sound system for the ceremony and the cocktail. So I just brought my little mixer and played, the cassette player, and I hooked it up and I played it. So during the reception, the mother came up. She goes, "They're ready, and can you announce they're walking in?"
Right.
It's okay. So I said, "Ladies and gentlemen," in Farsi, I said, just please rise. Welcome the bride and the groom.
Right.
And like I said, it was on a cassette. The traditional Mubarak Pot song was on a cassette. And it's like in the middle. It was like probably maybe 2 minutes left. The song is ending. Nobody's walking in. Everybody's clapping, looking at the door. Nobody's walking in. It's okay. So the mom said, "Announce it again."
Yeah.
Good, no problem. But the song is ending.
Okay.
So
rewind.
you can't stop. So luckily, I always used to take 2 cassette tapes.
Oh, okay.
Just to go from one song to another. So I had another one ready.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as this one ended, I hit the play for the other one. Announced it again, "Ladies and gentlemen, the bride and groom are ready. Please clap your hands. Everybody's gonna, getting ready to walk in."
Right.
Looking at the door, nobody's walking in. Nobody. So the wedding was done. They got into an argument. The wedding was done.
They left. They stopped. Wow.
And the mom said, "Just announce that the wedding is off." I said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, I can't announce it. Please, here's the microphone. You announce it. I'm not gonna say anything because they're gonna ask me what happened, and I don't know what happened." So just a little bit, people stayed, and after that, everybody left.
Weeks later, months later, you still didn't find out what happened?
Never found out what happened.
Wow.
Never, ever found out what happened. But I mean, like, there was so much tension in the ceremony. Usually, like, sometimes there is tension between the bride side, the families.
So it's probably with the mom and dads.
Something went on, and they never walked in.
Did they try to get their money back?
No.
No, okay.
It's like $250 back then, the weddings.
$250?
$250.
Wow.
That's what I was telling you. Like, the lady that called me for that event, I said, that's what I used to charge in 1987.
Wow. Like, that's when gas was like 20 cents, I don't know.
80 cents, 90 cents,
wow.
yeah.
Now it's $14.
It's crazy. This morning, one morning, it's like 6:09, and then the next, like 5-6 hours, it's like 6:29, and then it keeps going up.
How do you feel about guests who come up to you and want to like request songs? Like, DJ, DJ, could you play this?
That's
how annoying is that?
My famous hand gesture.
You bring your hand up?
To be like there, hold on. And most of the times, they come up to you when I'm either starting to mix a song, or you're in the middle of a transition. And then I said, just hold on for a second. And they're still talking. So just hold on for a second. Let me done. And then they say, can you play this song? And if it's a good song, of course I'll play it. But if it's a song that I think it's gonna ruin my dance floor, I'll tell them I can't play it now, but I'll play it a little bit later.
Oh, okay. You're still nice, you say later.
Yeah, I'll play it a little bit later, and if there's time, then because most of the time the bride and groom give you a song list. So first, that's the most important part. Make sure their song is played, and then the rest of it, just go with the flow.
How annoying is it when the photographers come very close to you to take pictures, or they're blocking you from seeing the dance floor?
I'm okay with it.
It's okay. You can be honest.
I'm okay with it. They have to do their job too. So
do they do anything that is annoying?
When they tell me how to do my job, and I've had many situations.
How would they tell you to do their job?
Why are you playing this song?
Oh, like that.
And I told them, look, why you hired? Why did they hire you? You're here to take photos. I'm not telling you how to take photos.
Yeah.
I've done this a lot longer than you. A lot longer than you. Let me do my job. You do your job.
I've never said that to you. No, just making sure we have that on record.
No. And even if you say it, I'm cool.
No, I wouldn't even say it. I wouldn't even think of saying something like that.
In a wedding, it should be a teamwork between DJ, photographer, videographer, and everybody who's working at that wedding, because it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about the bride and the groom and all of the guests. So have to make sure that everybody is on the same page.
Correct.
Otherwise, then it's going to go like, for example, if I take uplights and then you're going to tell me, can you change the color to this color because it's going to ruin the photos? Of course. Because if I put this kind of lighting and then it's going to ruin your photos, then the bride and groom.
For the record, red ruins the mood. Yes, and the skin color. So I'm not a fan of red and purple, but purple looks pretty. So I mean, we compromise on purple. But
amber. Remember the last wedding we did? Amber.
Gold is my favorite because skin tones looks good. But a lot of brides don't like that, so that's why we don't go with that. How do you feel your wife is in the wedding business?
Yes.
We've had her on the podcast before. How is it working with her on weddings?
Super easy. I work with everybody, but with her, it's super easy.
She said the exact opposite.
What did she say?
I'm just trying.
I knew you were going to say that. No, she's super easy to work with. She's very good at what she does.
Which is? Planning and coordinating.
Planning and coordinating and everything. So...
shout out to Asal June.
Shout out to Asal June.
So it's really easy working with her.
Easy working with her.
She doesn't tell you how to do your job or anything.
No. Okay. No, she's good. Some wedding planners,
please say their name and their company.
I don't know. Sometimes they'll drive you crazy, and then they have their mindset like this is what we're gonna do. And for example, like this wedding we did, she said they're gonna walk in and we're gonna go to dinner. I said, can you give me like 30-40 minutes of dance at least, because your guests got here at 3. Ceremony started at 4. Took about an hour and a half, so that's 5:30. An hour for cocktail, so that's 6:30. You open the ballroom at 7. By the time guests are seated, it's 7:30, and then an hour and a half to 2 hours of dinner. So from 3 o'clock until almost 9 o'clock, that's 6 hours, nothing.
Yeah.
So let them dance a little bit, because this wedding is going to be done so fast. Everybody's going to get bored and they're going to leave. And she said, no, that's what we're going to do. So.
Yeah. I've worked in the wedding industry with you for over 10 years now. And from the beginning, from the very, 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 very first wedding you ever referred to me, you never asked for a referral fee or any kind of kickback or anything like that. And I appreciate that. And I kind of tried to go in your path, and I've never ever received or asked for a referral either from anyone. But there are wedding planners who always have and still do, whether it's 10%, 15, whatever percent. Do you work with those planners? Meaning if they're like, hey, give 5%, you wouldn't work with them? Or you wouldn't?
They never call me because they know I'm not going to do it.
They wouldn't call you, okay.
No. People who want to book, I think like their DJ, they know who their DJ is, they've heard them before, and they either contact them directly, call, email, text. First of all, I hate to talk on a text. I think
You hate to talk on text?
I hate to communicate with
On
the
text?
client on text.
Which would you prefer?
Call.
Oh, okay. So
I
you're
want
old
them
school.
to-
Most of these kids today, they're gonna want to
No.
only text.
As a matter of fact, like 10 days ago,
Oh.
this lady, she kept messaging me. I said, let's talk because
Mm-hmm.
your wedding is out of town. I need to explain to you how the process
okay.
is. I'm not going to sit down and write like this much
Yeah,
text. So
yeah.
5 minutes conversation, she said, I don't have time. I go, okay, that's fine. No problem. I got booked for that same exact day.
Mm-hmm.
And then she messaged me. She was, okay, I'm ready to talk. I said, I'm sorry, I got booked. So I like to talk to the client, have them hear my voice, and then I'll hear their voice because you can pick up a lot. I mean, I may not be the right fit for that wedding.
Initially, I'd say I agree. You got to talk. You got to at least do, like, for me, I prefer Zoom just so we can see each other
Exactly.
first. But after that, I think it's more efficient to do text or email.
Yeah, of course.
So you also like have a record of what's been, because
Exactly.
you might forget and
But
stuff.
that the first initial
time, yeah,
conversation, I
agree.
like to talk to a client.
But I think a few years ago, I think I would rather sit down with them in person at a coffee shop
Of
or anything
course.
to see them face to face so they can see me. And that's one of the points of this podcast is so people who are watching us see how we are, see how we interact, see that we're not. Some people have a different perspective or a different expectation of how people are, and I think this kind of opens it up for them. So that's kind of what I hope this does too. It reveals that people know you, but they may not know me. So I mean, that's
I'm
my
sure they know you too. I'm sure they know.
not as much as you. We're gonna play a little game right now, okay? And this game is let's start with this one first. So this one's the easy game. We have two games actually. So the first one is I'm gonna show you a picture of yourself from a wedding, and I want to see if you can remember either the venue or the name of the bride and groom.
Okay.
And this is a very, very hard game. Most people can't because it's just you and you kind of are at the venue, okay? So here's the first one. I'll describe it. Looks like there's a little wall behind you with golden uplights in the background, and you're DJing, your coat is off and you're spinning, it looks like, or you're about to mix it. Do you have any idea whose wedding this is or what the venue is?
Carmel Mountain
Oh,
Country
very
Club.
good, very
Yes.
good.
They wanted the amber uplight.
I'm very impressed if you know the bride and groom. This is like impossible.
I know the guy.
You know the guy?
I know the guy loved my favorite team, Persepolis. He liked red, and then the bride liked Esteghlal, blue. And I'm trying to think the name. I call them Hamsoy because they used to
you're
ride
right.
across, and we met them at
Very
Starbucks
good,
actually.
very good.
But I can't think about their name right now.
David and Mahon.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mahkame.
Yes. All right, here's the second one. It's a little easier because you're standing next to a gentleman. It's in a dark kind of area.
That's in Carlsbad.
Jeez.
That's in Carlsbad.
Good memory.
The date of the wedding, I think it was September 21st, I
Wow. What year?
believe. He used to be the president of ISTA organization here. Oh my God, sometimes I'm bad with names.
No, I'm surprised you know the venue.
Yeah.
Just based on a picture of yourself.
Yeah, no, I know that one. I forgot his name. I mean, I know it, but I just can't.
I think it was the Crossings at Carlsbad.
Crossing in Carlsbad, yes.
And I believe it was Elena
and Armand. There you go.
Yes.
Yes. That was such a fun wedding.
That was a fun wedding as
Such
well.
a fun wedding.
All right, here's one very, very similar. Again, dark background. It looks like it's maybe outside, so you see some lighting from, I think it's hotel rooms or something. So maybe we're higher up. I don't
That's
know
in LA.
Jeez.
That's definitely in LA.
Very impressive. Very
Again,
impressive.
it was a September wedding. That was back in LA.
Yes.
And I know you did the photo shoot beforehand.
Yes.
I know she was wearing red.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
You know the engagement pictures too.
And the groom that night was wearing red. Their ceremony was outside.
Yes.
The venue provided the sound system, so
Very
I just hooked
good.
it up to their sound system. And again, I can't think about the name.
Very good. This was Marriott Marina Del Rey.
Yes.
And it was Sonia and Nader.
Sonia and Nader. And Asal was actually the
Asal was
wedding
actually the planner, yes. All right, here's one. I think this one's a little harder. You see the two gentlemen standing next to you, but I mean, that might give it away on whose wedding this
Yes.
is. Do you have any idea?
This was in same place you got married, actually.
Yes, very good. It's a golf course.
Golf course, yes. Can't think about his name.
Twin Oaks Golf
Twin
Course.
Oaks Golf Course, yes. That was, again, it was September. So all these pictures are September.
Different years.
Different years. I think his name was Shahram, maybe?
Shayan.
Yes. Shayan. I don't
And
remember.
Layla.
And Layla.
Shayan and Layla. All right. This one's a little bit more recent, so it's probably going to be very easy. You're outside, you're outdoors.
It was at the house not La Costa. It was San Marcos
San
area.
Marcos, yes.
Yeah. Nushin.
Yes.
And forgot his name.
I think it was Nader as well.
Nushin and Nader, yes.
I think this is the last one, probably the easiest one.
This was Parsa Antina.
Yes, very good.
At the Marriott in Coronado.
Very good, man. Very good. I kind of don't want to play the next game because the next game is a little easier. So you kind of aced this one. This one, just to make it a little bit more exciting, since I know you don't really drink energy drinks, I brought a very warm can of Red Bull. And I'm going to open it so people know that it's actually here. And I'm going to put this next to you.
Okay.
You're going to have options to choose between two. So if I say red or blue, you can say red or blue, and you're fine. If you say, I don't know, or both, and you take the easy way up, you have to take a sip of the Red Bull.
Okay.
So all you got to do is decide between one, okay? All right, first one, Tiesto or Armin van Buuren? It's just your opinion. It's not, doesn't mean anything, you know.
Armin van Buuren.
Armin van Buuren. Photography or cinematography?
Cinema.
Can I ask why?
Just the name sounds really nice.
Oh, okay. Golf course for a wedding or hotel for a wedding?
Hotel.
Can I ask why?
More elegant.
More elegant, okay. Ebby or Andy?
Hands down, Ebby.
Ebby.
I have so much memories with Ebby,
right.
even from Iran.
Yeah. Moin or Sharam Shapare?
Moin.
Gugush or Haide?
Gugush.
This is, already know the answer. Piruz and David or Kamran and Homan?
Piruz.
Dr. Dre or Kanye West?
Dr. Dre.
Can I ask why? Just old school?
Old school.
Yeah. DJ Askar or DJ Oftabe?
None of them.
You gotta take a sip. Wow, he did. I've never seen him drink Red Bull in my life. I can't believe he did that. Wow. They're both fake DJs, by the way. They're not real. They're not real people. You are not a wedding DJ. Let's say there's a playlist that plays music very well. No more DJs ever. Would you rather be a wedding planner or a florist?
Wedding planner.
Wedding planner. Can I ask why? Because that seems like very stressful.
So many years of experience in this industry. So I think I know the in and out of it. And I think I know for sure I can manage. Just seeing like all these weddings, all these years.
Would you rather see the bride drunk or the groom drunk? I mean, let me rephrase it. Which is worse to see in a wedding? A drunk bride or a drunk groom?
I think bride.
Drunk bride?
I think so.
I would agree with that. Some people say guy because a drunk bride is just going to be like, nice, whatever. And then a drunk groom can go either way.
Yeah.
But I think if the bride's drunk, the wedding's kind of over.
Exactly.
But the groom can get drunk and the bride would still keep the wedding going. Worst type of flower for the centerpieces for a wedding, for the reception. Sunflower or daisy?
Sunflower, I would say, yeah.
Sunflowers are very ugly for weddings.
For weddings, yeah.
Unless maybe the wedding's in like Alabama
exactly.
or something. Yeah. Let's see, what's another good one I can ask you? Would you rather do a Afghan wedding or Indian wedding? Music-wise.
Music-wise.
Which one has more variety?
Afghan wedding.
Afghan wedding would have more.
I've done it before, so.
You've done Indian too, haven't you? Or
I've done few Indians, but I've done more Afghan weddings. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, that's it, man. Can't believe you only took one sip. Very good. Thought you were gonna have to drink more than that. You're welcome to drink more if you want, or just let it chill.
This is definitely not my drink, though.
Your drink is.
Celsius.
Shout out to our sponsor Celsius for sponsoring. I'm just joking. What is your goal 5-10 years from now? Are you going to retire? Are you going to get into planning? Are you going to go hardcore into real estate? What's your goal?
Eventually I have to retire.
You don't have to retire.
I have to retire. I have to retire eventually, but most likely going into planning. Maybe me and Asa can form a stronger team. She's very strong.
Yeah.
She's very strong, but like maybe a stronger team.
Yeah.
And I think that would be something very interesting because, again, I've been doing this since '85, so I know the in and out of this industry. And she, like I said, she's very good, so maybe we can collaborate and go in that route.
What's one thing that you would give advice to a bride and groom who are planning their wedding today? It can be DJ related, it can not be, but since you've had so much experience with weddings, what advice could you give a
Let
couple?
the DJ do his job. Simple as that. Don't try to control.
Does that mean don't give a list of music?
No,
give a
please
list.
do, yeah, because DJ needs to know, like, for example, I don't know, let's say 15 to 20 of your favorite songs. That's not including your ceremony music, your grand entrance, throwing the bouquet, you know, your top 15 to 20 songs that they really like. The rest of it, just let him do his job.
Trust the DJ.
Because I never program what I'm going to play at the wedding because each wedding is different. I look at the crowd. Once the doors open, I think like looking at the whole crowd, maybe it takes like 3 minutes, 5 minutes max.
Yeah, okay.
I know exactly this is the type of music that needs to be played. But then the next night, I could have another wedding and it could be totally different. So I never think that this is the type of music that I'm going to play. I have to see the crowd and then it just comes. Experience is not something that you can buy overnight. It takes a long time to pick up all these little things that makes the wedding more fun. And so yeah, just don't try to dictate what the DJ needs to do. It's like I make this...
Or any vendor.
Or any vendor, exactly.
You're trusting them, so just let them take the reins.
They've seen me at the wedding or they've heard about me and they know like what I'm going to do, what I'm capable of, and that's why you're hiring me.
Right.
I always tell this when the conversations, we go back and forth. I said, let me ask you this question. If you go to a very experienced doctor who's been doing this for over 30 years, and God forbid, doctor has to do an operation on you, are you going to tell him how to operate? They say no. I said, okay, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I know what to do. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here after 37 years.
Right. You are obviously married, as we talked. Your wife does wedding planning as well. If you were to get married next week, let's say you're having a new big wedding, what's one thing that you would want to go like all in on? Meaning, would you this time want to get like crazy amount of flowers? Would you want to get like 10 photographers so you have more photos? What's one thing that really interests you if you were to get married again in like a month?
It's two things actually, photography and music.
And music. Who would you want DJing your wedding if it's next month, next year? Who's still active?
Who's still active? I would say...
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre, there you go.
Who would you?
Because I've known him and I DJed his wedding as well, Julius.
Julius, okay.
Yeah, because he gave me the honor and he knows everybody. He knows everybody. He's friends with everybody. But he gave me the honor and he said, because I'm the oldest one in this industry, I want you to DJ my wedding. So I have to give the same respect back and have him DJ my wedding.
Good diplomatic answer. If I know you listed your favorite musicians, but if you could have one come to your wedding to not play the whole time, but like play a few songs, is there anyone you'd love to have?
Persian.
Piruz. What about non-Persian?
Unfortunately, he's not here.
Who would it be?
He passed away.
Michael Jackson?
No.
Tupac.
Avicii.
Avicii, oh, okay. What about someone who's with us?
Armin van Buuren.
Armin van Buuren.
Of course.
Oh, awesome. Last question. You are doing a wedding, let's say in a week or whatever. If there's something that comes up where, because I get this question a lot from brides and grooms, what happens if your camera gets stolen? What happens if your DJ equipment gets stolen on your way? You're getting gas and someone steals it. What's the plan B for a DJ if something goes like wrong like that?
Have a backup equipment ready.
You have backup equipment?
We do have backup equipment. So we have to, just in case. I mean, like I usually upgrade my equipment, I would say once every couple of years because the new technology comes out. Unless it's like really high-end speakers, which you need to upgrade it. But then like the DJ systems, they keep upgrading it once every 3 years, 4 years, 2 years. So I try to upgrade just to make sure that I'm always.
Gotcha. What do you think in terms of technology being updated and stuff? There's been 2 weddings I've been to in the last 12 years where they had like an iPod that was mixing the music. There wasn't any DJs attached to the speakers that you get from Costco. What do you think about that?
DJ was playing it like that?
No. Oh. They set up the iPad on a speaker, connected it, and they had a playlist, and they pressed go. And then that was the music for the night.
That's bad. That's really bad. I think somebody's getting married, you need to have an entertainment. And again, like, let the DJ do his job. If you know the DJ, just let him do his job, just to make sure that everybody's having a great time.
What if it's between these two? The iPod to play the music, or they can hire a DJ, but then they have a family member taking iPhone photos. Which one's worse?
Both. Definitely both. Both. Definitely both. Yes.
I think I've seen someone take iPhone photos at a wedding because their photographer's camera broke and they didn't have a backup.
Okay.
And so they asked for a phone, and someone gave them the latest iPhone, which was like a 6 or 7. It was a while ago. And they took photos the rest of the reception with the iPhone.
iPhone 6. Oh, that's my phone. 10 years ago, everybody's making fun of me. Hey, it still works.
Or you could have done the wedding.
Yeah.
Mohsen John, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really an honor and pleasure. And hope to see you at a wedding next month, very soon.
Very, very soon.
And I'll make sure not to get in your way to upset you.
We never do.
And I will not request any songs. And if I see someone coming up to you, I will put my hand out.
Thank you.
Your solidarity.
You never bother me. You're always on point. Everything is
Appreciate
great.
that. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
We're
Thank
out.
you.
Bye.